Our clients came to us and said they needed a project scoped out that was a mobile-first, Angular web-based application. The application was based in the accounting finance space, and they were getting requests from their clients to have a mobile, on-the-go piece of software. In this video, I want to explain how we scoped out this project and how that project is going for our client. I'm Matt Grace, Managing Director of Flying Donkey. Let's get into it. Step 1. What are the drivers for the project? Before I started anything on this project, I got on a call with their client and product teams to discuss what are the drivers behind this project. It's critical to understand the reasoning and commercial reasons for starting the project and making sure there's a strong backing for the project. As previously discussed, the client and product teams made it clear to me that there was two key reasons for doing this project. The first driver was requests from their existing client base to be on the go and be able to use their software while they weren't in the office. The second reason was they were starting to see some of their clients leave to other competitors, and they obviously needed to start competing in this space. Now, while it's very clear cut on this project what the drivers were, in other projects it's not always as clear. For example, I do get clients reaching out to me and asking me to scope projects on AI. Now, while AI is a very interesting technology and it does some very interesting things, I say to them, what will that AI produce? And most importantly, from what the AI will produce, will a client pay money for it? Because at the end of the day, while we can build it and you can pay for it, if your clients don't pay you money for it and it's not a commercial success, the entire project is a failure, and therefore bad business for you and bad business for us. So the number one key first step is to make sure there is a key, strong commercial driver for your project. Step 2, scoping and UX design. These two steps go hand in hand. I start by asking the client to describe 3 key features, or 3 key screens, whichever's easier for them to describe. Generally speaking, I will get a list longer than 3 items, and if that's the case, I will go back and try and trim down that list to 3 or 4 items. In this case, the client was very good, and they gave us 3 key things they wanted to get out of the project. Once we got these 3 pieces of key functionality, as we were upgrading from an existing system, I then sat through a walkthrough of how those pages work on their existing system, and then I discussed with the client how they would like these pages to look in the new world. Based on these conversations, I was able to go to our UX library of previous projects and share some work that we've previously done in this area. The client was then to point out which direction they wanted to go into with the UX design, and we labeled the functionality and the pages that were required. We package those up to send over to our UX designer. In parallel to this conversation, I kick off conversations with the lead developer of the client to make sure the architecture and code base that we're structuring is in line with what they're after. This could be around code conventions or libraries used, so that when the UX is completed and then approved by the client, we can jump in straight away and start building the application. Now the fun begins. Let's get started on coding. With all the requirements loaded into our Jira management system, our UX designs signed off by the client, and our budget and functionality agreed, it's time to start development. Step 3, time to code and deliver. Now our UX designs are approved and we've got sign off from the lead developer at the client. We send these details over our developers to start work. Our developers will set up the environment locally and push all of their code to a central repository. The central repository will then be set up in a continuous deployment environment where we will set up servers in Azure for dev and test. As code is pushed to these repositories onto specific feature branches, pull requests are then made and reviewed by our lead developers. As these are reviewed and approved, they go into development branches and then are deployed out to these dev and test environments. As the code is deployed, the client or ourselves will test this code and we'll work through each of the environments and any bugs until they're fixed. Step 4, close out of the project. Once the 3 or 4 pieces of functionality are delivered and closed out to the client, and any issues are resolved as well, we then do a retrospective on how it went. We look back at how we scoped, how the UX designs were done, how the approval worked, how our architecture looked, and how the code and end products actually come out. We also check to make sure that we've hit budget and that our estimates were on target, and then we look to repeat the process. By this, I mean we'll go back and ask for 3 more pieces of functionality and go through exactly the same process again. This allows us to turn around and deliver quickly and make sure the client is seeing value in the process as they go through it. With signed off designs and small sprints, the feedback loop is small and quick, and that allows us to resolve any issues very easily and within budget. I hope this gives you an insight on how we scope and deliver a project at Flying Donkey. If you have a project that you're looking to scope or deliver, feel free to get in touch with us at Flying Donkey and we'll be happy to assist. We offer a no obligation free conversation where we can discuss all facets of the process and I'll give my feedback on any of the steps above. Get in touch by any of our pages on our Contact Us page and we'll be happy to talk with you.